Hey everybody, welcome back. It is Jenny with Being Jenny Marie, and I have my good pals Tanisha and Ashlee joining me. And if you were on my channel last month, I'm starting this new monthly hangout, kind of just to update you guys on my weight loss journey and where I am and what I'm struggling with and what I'm doing well with. And each month I've got my friends joining me, and Ashlee and Tanisha are on journeys as well. And we have dubbed ourselves YouTubers because we are all YouTubers. So we want everybody to be on this journey with us, to follow us, give us support, guidance sort of thing. So if you are joining us live, if you use the hashtag YouTubers on Twitter, on anywhere, all those social media sites, if you comment to this hangout, we will see your comments. Hopefully this time. We've had technical difficulties last time. So if you leave us comments or questions, we will answer them. And we have a question from last month that showed up that we will be getting to. So before we jump into all that, I just wanted to let the girls say hi and introduce their channels in case you are not familiar with them. So if you girls want to say hello, you go right ahead.
Hi, my name is Tanisha, and I'm with TanishaLynne Styles here on YouTube, and yeah,
What sort
I don't
of
know what to say. I mean, just it's been crazy this past month. You know, Thanksgiving made it hard for me. So
yeah, my channel, my body, my everything has been a horrible month for us. So I'm right there with you. Ashlee, you want to say hello?
Yeah, hi, I'm Ashlee from the Eagles Nest, and my month wasn't too bad. I did lose about 3 pounds this month. I had lost 4, but I put 1 back on this week. Just fine. It's not the end of the world. I was just happy to have lost anything. Uh, Thanksgiving wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. It went okay for me. I only actually even had 1 plate of food, which surprised me. I had 1 plate and I was full and I didn't eat anymore. So I was really happy with myself. It wasn't that day that was hard for me. It was the leftovers for like the rest of the weekend that killed
Right.
me. But I stayed the same that week. I didn't gain any. Thank goodness.
That is good. How did Tanisha? How'd you do on Thanksgiving?
food, well, for the most part, I actually did really well, but my downfall that I cannot seem to control are my carbs. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a bread eater. And just the rolls, even though I didn't have a lot per se on my plate, but just the walking around and every once in a while grabbing that roll, that dinner roll, or the French bread, and that's my downfall. And I've always been horrible at that, just grabbing bread out of the loaf of bread ever since I was
Yeah.
little, just walking around and eating it. I used to shove bread in my pocket when I was a kid and run outside and play, and I if I can get off of that, then I think I would honestly be good to go.
Convenient, and it smells so good, and it's so warm.
And it doesn't help my mom got me a early Christmas present, which was a bread maker.
I've been looking for one. Did you use it yet?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so jealous. And it's
Yep, she
actually
said
fun
she wanted me
to
to
use.
use it. She said she wanted me to have it early so that way I can make like holiday breads and stuff like that. But I'm thinking my stomach and my tongue is just saying yes, but my mind is just my eye,
Say, no,
everything else is
not it.
just like no, bad timing, mother, bad timing.
Do you like
It's like, no.
you just do white breads or do you like to do like whole grain breads as well?
Oh, I do. It's a gluten-free bread maker. It can do gluten-free.
Okay.
You can do jams. You can make doughs. So I need to get the next time I go shopping, I'm gonna get the gluten-free flour, and all that stuff, so I can at least that might help a little bit, and then do the whole wheat, and
Yeah.
So you
As,
can, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, as far as gluten-free, I could talk. As far as gluten-free flours, I really like the brown rice flour. That seems to be most like regular flour to me, but I also
Hmm.
really like chickpea flour. I don't know why I like it, I just do. But
I've never heard of chickpea flour.
um, I have to keep it in the freezer because it's one of those ones that spoils really quickly. But I like it. I like to use it to thicken soups, basically like in the place of cornstarch or anything that I need to thicken.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
You'll have to send me the link, Tanisha, so I can put it in the description because that's really interesting.
To the bread maker that I got?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Have to look it up or email me or something and I'll put it up there. Daniel is actually he's got a bunch of he watches. Food Wishes is one. Byron's Albit is another one. And he's got several that he watches, and they are doing all sorts of baking for the holidays and everything. So we've
Hmm.
been making tons of bread and rolls, cookies, and all sorts of anything with flour in it around here. And it's a lot of fun, and everything tastes good, but that's the problem. It tastes so good. And actually, Layla and I made her birthday cake from scratch, and it was a lot of not a lot, but your typical butter and your sugar and lemon. I said, there's none left. I might have to make another one tomorrow. But Thanksgiving over here, it was rough because we all got the stomach bug right afterwards. And so it was like the week leading up to Thanksgiving, all the preparation and eating and stuff, overeating, overindulging. Then that week after, we all had a stomach bug. And then that week after, it was getting ready for Leilani's birthday. So I literally have not been to the gym in 3 weeks. And I am definitely feeling it.
That's rough,
Yeah.
especially when you get in that rut, like it takes 3 weeks to make the habit, and it's like 3 weeks in the wrong direction for the habit.
Exactly. And I had already gotten myself to the point where if I wasn't going to the gym every day, it felt weird. It's already part of my routine. So now I feel weird wanting to go to the gym.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you just gotta get in the car one day and drive there, and then it'll start becoming a habit again. I mean, but that's the first step is
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah, I just got to do it. I think, another thing that'll help. I'd seen what was it, a picture on Instagram or something, and it was one of those motivational quotes, and it said something like, just put your workout clothes on and then decide if you want to go to the gym once you're done. And it makes such a big difference. Like, if you're laying there in your pajamas and you're just watching TV, to be like, I don't think I want to go right now, maybe tomorrow. But once you get your clothes on and then you make that decision, it's so different. Your mind is in such a different place.
Yeah. I used to get dressed like in my workout clothes and be like, okay, well, if I'm already wearing them, then I'll be more likely to work out. My
Hmm.
biggest thing that like holds me back is so silly, but it's like I'm a mom. I might not get a shower today. Do I really want to smell until tomorrow? Like I don't want to deal with the BO. That's the worst reason to not work out. But
Leilani's gonna come say hi. Hello. Hello.
hello, sweet girl.
She's so adorable.
Thank you. She's like, hello, you're in my room and you shut the door. We had our Christmas party tonight for the women's ministry at my church, and we were all supposed to bring a finger food, and it was like cookies, sweets, chocolates, like all the bad stuff.
In my house, everything is finger food. Not literally, but that's what we used to say.
That is. And you know what, too? Like, we're in a rut with our our fridge is empty right now. You ever, like, every other month, I feel like we have one of those weeks where there's nothing in the cabinets, fridge is bare, there's no, like, meats in the house, and it's like eating PBJs, and I need to get my butt to the store.
Yeah, PBJs have become a staple in our house lately.
Yeah. That's one of the things. G was with us last month, but she couldn't make it this week because she is traveling. But she wanted me to share her updates. And she said that she has been meal planning. She started doing that throughout the week for work. She is not, let's see. I did not overeat during Thanksgiving. I had the first holiday party this month, and I ate fruit. Really proud of myself. She lost 4 pounds, and for her resolution, she's got several things. She wants to do 30-minute walking sessions during the day. She wants to do cardio classes twice a week, continue the meal planning, and that Fitbit device that she had, she wants to upgrade it or get something else. So while we're talking, those are all really good. While we're talking about resolutions, have you guys even thought of them yet?
Yes.
What are you going to do?
I mean, I'm pretty good at sticking to them. So, you know, some people want me to do this, I'm going to do that, you know, and then, or they're like, this year I'm definitely going to stick to my resolutions and stuff. But I'm actually proud of myself. I do plan on drinking more shakes, or smoothies, you know, making the green smoothies every morning. I have to get myself on an eating schedule. Because I usually just eat whenever I'm hungry, and that really doesn't help your metabolism any. So there's times where I'll go like all day without eating, and then before I go to bed, I might have like a banana, some water, and then go. I mean, I'm always drinking water throughout the day, but that one banana for that day isn't going to cut it.
Right.
So I plan on putting myself on a schedule to where I have to fix, even if it's just a little smoothie in the morning. I'm going to do more meal prepping and set myself on a gym schedule, and I'm going to vlog about my my day, how I'm feeling. I'm gonna try to do it every single day for it. I'm gonna start off with 1 month for the whole month of January, and then I'll go from there as far as vlogging every day. Because I had camera issues, but I seem to rig it and get it to go, so that way I can get going again until I get a new camera.
I saw your the post, the way you were able to jerry rig it.
Yeah, it's sitting over here, and I had, and because I can't see the screen or anything, I have to plug it into the TV as if I'm playing off of the TV, and then I can use my big old TV as my viewfinder. But it works, so, and it still comes up HD and good quality, so that's all that matters.
Yeah. It just sounds like a pain, but I mean, as long as it works.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm just not going to move it. It's just going to stay there, you know, just strictly for sit down. I can't vlog with it or anything, so. But yeah, that's my resolution, is just to get myself more on a better schedule.
Well, that's good. It all sounds like very realistic goals, too. Like, those do not sound... I mean, you know how you hear about people setting goals, and then it's like, come on, let's be honest here. You're not going to last a week doing that. But, I mean, I feel like you've got some really good ones.
Thank you.
Ashlee, have you thought about yours?
I think that the biggest thing that I want to do is I just want to get my routine back. It's been too long. I used to meal plan all the time and track my meals, like write down everything that I put in my mouth. And I want to bring those habits back. And because I know once I do those things, I'll be successful. Period. Like those things work for me.
Right.
Also, I'm always terrible about working out. For some reason, I can pick it up and I can work out really well, maybe for a couple of months or something, but I don't stick with it long term. Couple of weeks, couple of months, like whatever. I want to stick with it long term. And there are two kind of workout things like schedules that I want to complete. I want to complete the 30-day beginners Blogilates calendar.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And I want to complete the C25K.
The what? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Long term, at some point in the future, I want to be able to actually physically run a 5K. I know I can walk one, like no big deal, but I want to be able to run a 5K, and I eventually, like my big, huge, like fitness goal is to do a half marathon. They have one at Disney World called the Princess Half, and you wear like tutus and tiaras to do it. And I want to do that so bad.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of like my end goal. I have to get to the point where I actually like running because I hate running. I've never been good at it.
Yeah. I always joked because growing up I played softball and I was like, I hate running so much. That's why I play softball because you get to stop between bases. Because I absolutely hate running. And it's one of those mental things. It's mind over matter. You got to tell yourself to keep going. And I always say, you're tired. You need to quit.
Yeah. Doing because I played softball as well. I was a catcher though, so I really didn't have to run like at all. And I also did soccer, but both of those things were like short sprints, to get, and then you kind of got a break in between. It wasn't like this long distance thing.
Hi!
Hi, baby.
Leilani, what's your New Year's resolution? Tell everybody. Tell them what you want to do next year. Tell them. Can you tell them how old you are? She goes, 2.
Aww.
Oh, look, she's doing it.
Good job, baby girl.
Yay! I think one of my big goals for next year is I want to focus on getting enough sleep. Ow! Because I stay at home play her and morning, and that's not healthy for either one of us. So I would like to get us both on a better sleep schedule. My friend Brooklyn worked in a sleep study center for a very, very long time, like 7 some odd years, and she was saying, it's really not healthy for you to not get enough sleep because your metabolism is going to be out of whack, and it's going to end up doing you more harm than good. So you need to get a good pattern. So I think that's going to be one of my main focuses is to sleep at a decent time every night. Ashlee, I know your kids are in bed at a good time.
Yeah.
Do you go to bed at a decent time because of that?
I try to really hard, and it's one of the things I've been working on a lot more recently, and it makes me feel like I have no time because I used to stay up till 11 or even midnight, 1 o'clock, and even sometimes I still do that, but I would always be like dead in the morning.
Yeah.
Like trying to get out of bed was just like a huge struggle. Even just physically waking up was a huge struggle, but I felt like I always had stuff to do. I had work or I wanted to edit videos or whatever, so I would stay up late. I wanted to spend time with my husband. But I've been trying to make it a point that I go to bed between 9:30 and 10:30.
Yeah.
That's my goal. Like 10:30 is like my drop dead time. I have to go to bed by then. Because my kids get up between 6 and 7. I mean, they go to bed at 7, but they get up between 6 and 7.
Right.
And, I mean, there's no, they can sit in their crib for 20 minutes. No, Avery's climbing on top of me. If I don't wake up when she wakes up. She'll be like, Mommy, and she'll just be giving me kisses. And Aiden will come in and knock on the door as soon as he hears her if he's not in the bed with us already. So, but when I was... Avery has been a horrible sleeper since she was born. But when I would go in and see my doctor, like not getting enough sleep, it can whack out your hormones as well. Like, I had some imbalances and things like that, and it was when I was only 4 months postpartum. They didn't want to put me on any hormone treatments, hormone therapies because I was still breastfeeding, and that would have really messed that up.
Right.
But they told me, we know it's a lot to ask, but as soon as you can get into a better sleep pattern, that will naturally re-regulate itself. They're like, but you are so sleep deprived right now, your hormones are like crazy.
That's really interesting because that's not anything that I would have ever thought about, your hormones being affected, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, even like, I mean, it was like pregnenolone is what it was called, which like I don't even know what it affects, but somehow it's like connected to your estrogen, testosterone. It's kind of in that family of hormones. And then vitamin B was off as well. And they said, that'll naturally regulate as you get better sleep. And it did. It did. So,
How are you sleeping, Tanisha? Do you get a good amount of sleep, or are you a bad sleeper?
I'm a worst sleeper ever.
Uh,
I'm up till like 2 in the morning, 3,
yeah.
and then that's when I start to get a little sleepy, and then I get in the bed, and then once I'm in bed and I'll lay there, and then I'll close my eyes, and then I end up being wide awake. So I'll set the timer on the television and everything, and go from there, and then I'll pass out, and then by the time I wake, and then by the time I get into sleep, sorry, by the time I get to sleep, I have to turn around and get up because I have to take my son to school.
Right.
And then by the time I get home, I'm not trying to go, even though I'm still tired and groggy, I don't want to go back to bed. I've got to clean house, or I try to get to the gym while he's in school because he's only in school for 2.5 hours. So I try to go to the gym if I can. I'm chasing cats around and taking care of them and running errands and stuff. And my day, I kind of wonder what I do with my day because it seems like it's the same thing every day. And then I take a little nap, maybe 20 minutes around 5:30 or 6. Then I just crash. But then I wake up, and then it's the same cycle all over again.
Yeah, and it's like you have good intentions, you want to do better, but it's so hard to start. It's like that first day of changing, all of that. It's so hard. Leilani and I are night owls, so I definitely get what you're saying.
It's a lifestyle change, just like changing the way you eat and adding gym time in. I mean, it's just because it does affect your lifestyle. It affects your whole schedule. And I literally, like, I've been trying really hard. I feel super, like, significantly more refreshed and things like that when I wake up in the morning. Now, when I still go to bed on time, though, over Thanksgiving, literally did not get to bed before 1 o'clock one single time that entire week because my sisters and brother and I were just, like, up. Just not even doing anything productive whatsoever. But yeah. I feel like those hours for me were like productive hours, and now I've kind of lost those. So that's kind of been a struggle to adapt my routine to that.
Right. We have always bed shared. Ever since Leilani was a baby, we've been bed sharing. And once she turned 2, I was like, she's really got to make better. She's got to grow up differently. She has her own room. She has her own bed. She needs to sleep in her bed. But it's like I myself can't handle it. She's fine. She has no problem. But I get terrible anxiety. But me and night was the first night we did this, and I stayed up till 4 o'clock. I could not sleep. What's this? So I take melatonin, and I knock myself out.
I feel drugged when I take that. I've taken it, and I have, like, 2 bottles of it because it came in a double pack for like $4 something at Walmart, and I went ahead and got it because it was the same price for 2 as it was for 1 for some reason. It was like a bonus, I don't know. But I took it and I slept so good. But then when I woke up the next morning, I felt, I mean, like I was just drunk.
Wow. It
You
may have
know,
been too much for your system because it's not supposed to do that.
and I only took 1, so it's not like it's not like I'm treating it as candy or nothing.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, I did sleep good through the whole night. I took it around 7:30, so that way between 8:30, that's a reasonable time for me, and that's the time that I actually would like to go to bed is between 8:30 and 9.
Right.
That's the schedule that I'd like to be on, and so I took it a little early so that way by the time it hits my system, I'll be done doing what I have to do, and I'm ready for bed for the night. And I fell asleep comfortably, not just passed out, but I mean, I comfortably dozed off, went to sleep. But when I woke up the next morning, I just felt like I was hungover. I was just like, man, and I thought maybe it's because my body wasn't used to it or what, but.
Well, I'm almost thinking maybe your body wasn't used to getting even just that much sleep. And it was kind of just like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? 'Cause your body.
Oh yeah, that could be it too. I didn't think of that. I just thought maybe because I'm not a pill person. I won't even take Tylenol unless I absolutely have to. I don't. I've been on meds all my life, so I don't like taking anything unless I absolutely have to. So that could be it too.
Yeah, I'm totally the same way. I hate taking anything, especially something that is going to do something like put me to sleep or whatever. That makes me nervous. I mean, like it's been recommended to by my doctor. My mom takes melatonin at night because otherwise, I mean, she just doesn't sleep. But I don't know. I find that as long as I hit my sweet spot, like my time little window for me to go to sleep, I'm good. Otherwise, I kind of hit that second wind and then I'm up for a couple more hours. So I just have to hit that sweet spot and then I'm good. And I'm a 9 hours a night kind of girl. If I don't get the 9 hours, I'm a monster.
Yeah, I'm the same way. But it's weird because it's like there's a very short gap of time in there. If I get anything less or anything more, then I'm fine. I'm perfect. But I think like 5 to 7 hours. If I get 5 to 7 hours of sleep, I'm awful. You don't want to be around me. But anything less or anything more, and I'm good.
Like if I get less than 7 hours, forget it. You don't want to come near me. And even if I get too much, it'll have the same effect. Like if I get too much sleep, if my kids sleep in and I don't wake up, because if I go to bed at the right time, if they sleep in like they've been sick this week, they've been sleeping in, and I've been waking up before them, which has been lovely to kind of just have a few minutes to myself in the morning. So I might start trying to do that on purpose.
That was like another thing like Tanisha had hit on was like time management. It's like, what do you do with your day? What do you do with your time? Because it's like you look back at the end of the day and you're like, what did I do? What did I do with my life? And I feel like that every single day because I'm trying to build my brand here on YouTube. I'm trying to like promote myself and get myself out there and meet new people. But I'm raising Leilani and I work part-time for someone on social media, and it's like, by the time I lay down and go to sleep, I still feel like I have a million things in my head that I need to write down, make a list, and it's like, were there really 24 hours in this day? I have no idea.
Exactly. Exactly. My son said the same thing. I was like, man, I need to find a job outside the home. I need to do this. I need to do that. He's like, why don't you just, focus on your channel and build that back up? Because I used to have a channel before, my old channel, and somehow I don't know what I did, but I accidentally deleted it. and I contacted YouTube. They offered me the channel back, but there's no way that it deleted everything, my subs, everything. So I was mad. I cried, and I'd worked so hard for years to build that up, and I had like almost 20,000 subscribers on there. It was my baby, and then I just gave up. When I couldn't get it back to how I wanted, I just stopped. And then recently, I just decided to try to do YouTube again.
Yeah.
I was just so devastated, but my son was like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And I was like, I don't have the time. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, well, what did I do today? I could have been filming videos. You know, I could have been doing this. I could have been doing that. But then I know I was busy, but at the same time, it's like, what was I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you're busy, go, 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 but not productive.
Yeah.
I feel every single day. I'm just like, I had this, this, and this to do for 3 weeks now, and yet I still haven't done it. Somehow I haven't found the time, but yet I don't feel like I've accomplished anything.
I lost my pen, but I was going to write down, hold on, do you have my pen? Yes, she does. I just watched a video today, actually. I don't know if you guys follow DoItOnADime, but she had this video of like her top 10 time management tips, and they were actually really good. And one of them was focus on time, not the task. So basically, you give yourself, say, 30 minutes on a task, and you do it for just 30 minutes, whether or not you finished it. And then you just move on to the next thing. And you only give yourself 7 tips or 7 tasks per day to do, because something about learn, they can only learn 7 things a day, and that's like their max limit of what they can do. So she recommends that you follow that as well, and you try not to do more than 7 things in a day. So I'm going to link that below. It's a really good one since we were talking about that.
And I emailed you the link to the bread maker before I forget.
Okay, so I'll put that up in the description as well. I haven't seen any comments. I wish we had some comments or some people talking with us, because I would love, we've had a couple viewers coming in and out, and so I would love to hear from whoever it is watching. But one of the comments that we did get last month was from Charlotte. She asked what meal plan everybody is on. So, I mean, for me personally, I am not on one. I should be. I just, when I was doing, when I was very active in this weight loss, these last 3 weeks don't count, but before that, I was just trying to eat better. Like, I still have not had any soda. I have had some fast food, but I'm trying to eliminate fast food, continue drinking as much water as possible, and just keep eating the good clean foods, not the processed food. So do you guys have like a plan that you follow during the day, or how do you do it?
For me, I find that my body for some reason likes it better when I don't eat. Like, I tried after I had Aiden, like I lost a bit of weight, 20 pounds initially, and then I kind of plateaued for a while. And then when I cut meat down to like only once or twice a week, it started coming off again really steadily. So that was a change that I made, because I didn't even lose weight until the last 2 weeks of this month. And that's one of the changes that I made, is I cut back on meat a lot, and a lot of the meals that we were eating were vegan or vegetarian. And my body just likes it that way. I think it's partially my own fault, because I was a vegetarian when I was a teenager, and like my body was still developing, so maybe that's just, I don't know how that works. I'm not a scientist, but maybe I just like kind of did that to myself. I don't know, but so that's something that I really like. And I try to use the MyFitnessPal to track. It's been difficult for me though to transition from the point system from Weight Watchers to a calorie counting,
Right.
because they're different. And in Weight Watchers, they kind of drill into your head so much that not all calories are created equal. Calories only give you a small window and all these things. So that's been really hard for me to transition to. So I might end up going back to Weight Watchers, at least doing Weight Watchers on my own, just so I can have the tools and the tracking of the point system. I don't know. That's something I've got to figure out before the new year, because I want to hit it hard come January 1st.
But tracking does work for you, because that's something I could not do well when I was doing Weight Watchers. Was tracking was just not my thing.
Once I get into the habit of doing it, yeah, it worked awesome for me. Planning ahead also was a huge factor in that. I could plan my whole day out, and I would track before I ate it. So that way I wouldn't track something and then I get to the end of the day and I'm like, I can't eat dinner. I mean, because definitely in the beginning of the program, there were times where I was literally, like, I would end up going to Subway and getting their salad and just getting all veggies and oil and vinegar on it, and that was it. Because fruits and veggies were 0 points, but I literally had like 2 points left for the whole day, so all I could have was the olive oil, as my points, and I didn't want to go over.
Right.
But, so yeah, tracking works for me when I get into the habit of it. But I got out of the habit while I was pregnant with Avery, and I wish that I hadn't. But I was so in the mindset of, okay, well, I'm pregnant, I need to gain some weight, I'm at a healthy weight, so it's okay. But I ended up going, back to an unhealthy weight after I had her. I mean, my pregnancy itself was way healthier than when I was pregnant with my son. But I still wish I had at least kept in the habit of tracking and watching what I was eating. Because it's so hard to get back into that track. And it's so hard to not feel like it's kind of like an anchor. Like, oh man, I'm going to have to track for the rest of my life. That sucks. But it's either, okay, take the couple minutes a day to track, or decide that I'm okay with being overweight.
Yeah.
For me, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I have to make the decision.
Yeah.
To do one or the other.
I have guilt issues sometimes. If I lived on my own, and I know for a fact if I lived on my own, then when I went grocery shopping, I wouldn't buy any meat at all. It would just be strictly fruits and vegetables, and meatless products, like that. And my son's okay with that, and that's the thing. He's okay. It doesn't bother him, but I feel guilty because, I mean, yes, he's way older, but at the same time, I feel like I'm depriving him of, like, protein, at least of chicken a little bit. Not necessarily he has to eat it all the time, but I feel guilty, and so I buy certain things because I feel like that's what doctors say he has to have to keep his body nourished. I still got that pediatrics thing spinning in my head with him. And so I actually feel guilty. He's like, Mom, if you don't want to buy meat, don't buy meat. And we definitely don't buy red meat. It's always just chicken, but we don't even eat that often. But it's just the fact that it's there, because my son's almost 18 years old. So he's obviously old enough to make that decision what he wants to eat and what he doesn't. But it's me that feels bad. But he'll eat whatever I cook. That's not an issue. But at the same time, I feel like I'm depriving him of that, and like I'm forcing what I want to do for myself onto him. He doesn't see it that way, and he's told me that several times, but I see it that way. And so when I go grocery shopping, I just feel guilty, and I'm like, oh, well, he needs a little bit of protein in his diet this week, or he needs a little bit of this. And so I get it, knowing realistically I personally don't want to buy it, only because of myself, not because of him. But he's okay if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's always been a good eater.
The mama guilt will get you every time. It will. Like, I talked to my pediatrician because Aiden was only maybe a year old when I kind of reverted back to, because I was a vegetarian from like 13 to 18. And then when I moved out on my own, and my husband and I got married, he wasn't into the vegetarian thing. He's like, I really like meat. He's a meat and potatoes kind of guy. So I started eating meat again, but only white meat, only chicken and turkey, because
Hmm.
I just didn't care for red meat. And then we eventually got to the point he was deployed, so that made it easy. I like did not have to buy meat at all for 7 months. And then when he came back, I was like, okay, well, this is what we're gonna do. This is our compromise. Instead of doing a meatless Monday, because like a lot of people call it meatless Monday, we did the opposite.
Hmm.
It's where we had chicken on one day a week, like Mondays, and the rest of the week would be vegetarian. There are tons of ways to get protein. Beans are a really good source of protein, nuts and
Yeah, it's just the meat thing. It was just stuck in, I don't know,
yeah.
because it says like meat, vegetables, like that. I just got, like I said, I got that mommy thing that when they're little, even though that was years ago, the doctors give you that little chart to follow, or it's supposed to follow, or
Yeah.
recommended, whatever. And so that's
Are you
what's.
talking about like the food pyramid?
Mhm.
They've changed it. I don't know if it'll make you feel better. They've changed it now. They call it My Plate. And they have it,
Okay.
it's totally different. You should look it up. It's really fun, actually. I kind of challenged myself to fill. My daughter used it today, so I can't show you. But I have a plate I have a lot of plates that are split into fours because now they have
Mhm.
it split into fours. You have a big serving of fruit, or sorry, a big serving of vegetables, smaller serving of fruit, smaller serving of protein, and then a serving of grains, like on your plate. So I have a bunch of plates for
Oh.
them that are sectioned in 4 different ways, and I kind of challenge myself to give them something from each of those food groups. And it even says like, I mean, the protein can be fish or beans or like my kids love tilapia. They love it. My son
I
hates.
love seafood. I could eat seafood all the time above anything else. But I
Yeah,
just don't buy it often because here it's very expensive for like the littlest things, and I'm like, whoa. But
yeah, it's super expensive, which is a shame because it's so good for you. But my kids, they eat salmon, they eat tilapia, they'll eat whatever. Like if we go out to eat and tilapia is an option on the kids menu, that's what they'll get, and they will eat the crap out of it. My daughter
oh,
likes
that's
meat, but my son hates meat. He'll eat chicken, but other than that, he doesn't care for it. He'll leave that on his plate and eat everything else. But she loves meat. So, but she also loves beans. They both love beans. Like they could eat beans probably for every meal for the rest of forever and they would be happy.
That's my struggle with Leilani too, is because like ever since she was about 18 months old, when she was getting her molars, she wanted to eat, but she couldn't because she didn't have her back teeth yet. So she became very, very picky, and it's so hard to get her to eat good things. And it's like, again, with the mommy guilt, because you want to force her to eat healthy, but I ain't gonna lie, I confess, she had an ice cream sandwich for breakfast today because that's what she would eat. So, I mean, that's not normal everyday stuff, but I mean, we got to do, what we can for our kids, but at the same time, we got to think of ourselves too, because we have to give them the example, of
Yeah.
how you're supposed to keep yourself healthy, how you're supposed to take care of yourself so that you can take care of them. Um, and that's one of the things that um, I love going to the gym because it's like, oh baby, you're gonna out. Okay, all right, we're good. I love go see daddy. I can't go right now. Go see daddy. Okay. Um, it's my mommy time. I love to be with Leilani, but at the same time, it's like I love that hour and a half, 2 hours to myself and with my iPhone, and I can watch my YouTube videos and stuff. But one of the things that I did when I was going in November was um, I wasn't taking her with me, and I'm trying to decide what's the best time of day to work out for me. Like if I go during the day, obviously I would take her. But if I didn't take her to the gym, then she would stay here with her dad when he got home from work. So it's like, I'm still in that learning phase. I need to figure out everything that works for me. And as far as food goes, I forget to eat. I drink water and coffee all day long and I completely forget to eat until she asks for something, I'm like, oh, hey, we haven't eaten today, and it's almost 1 o'clock. We need to eat. It's like we just get so busy or so wrapped up in what we're doing, or it's like, how do you remember to eat?
My body reminds me to eat. If I don't eat, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. Like, it gets bad. I mean, it was something that I had to learn to train myself to do to catch it before it happened. But that's just from whatever leftover, from being pregnant or whatever. Because that happened to me during both my pregnancies, and I actually passed out at one point because I had like really bad morning sickness and I couldn't eat. But I got to the point where I was like in the line at Subway, like trying to order my sandwich, but it was too late and I just passed out. But
Oh, man.
like while I was breastfeeding, like it lasted through the whole, and like I just weaned her 2 months ago, so it finally went away. But I'm still in the habit of, okay, when we wake up, we have to eat. It's not as prominent in the forefront of my mind anymore, though. Like, Aiden had to ask me 3 times this morning to make him his waffles for breakfast because it just wasn't there. And I've been really bad about drinking water since I weaned her as well because it's not the necessity for someone else anymore, but the necessity for myself. And, like, as moms, we put ourselves on the back burner.
Always. I think that's like ingrained in our DNA is childbearing women.
Yeah.
Darn that Eve for eating the apple. Well, do you guys, we're coming up on an hour soon, so do you guys have anything, you want to discuss that happened to you this weekend? Any praises, any recommendations or suggestions you have for everybody?
Stay hydrated.
Yeah, that's huge. I still take my Brita my water bottle with me everywhere I go. And if I don't have it, I get anxiety. You would think I'm a very sickly person with all this anxiety I have, but whatever.
I would say, I mean, just something that I discovered this past week that I have been loving is the blog, The One Ingredient Chef, and it is vegan meals, but I'm sure you could have like a chicken breast or something with it if you're not vegan or if you're wanting to eat meat. There's ways to incorporate it, but they're simple meals. And I found that even with Weight Watchers recipes, there were so many dang ingredients. It became so expensive to eat healthy. But the way he has it, they have just a few basic things, and they're just really basic meals, but they still are really flavorful and really good. I've been loving that.
You said it's one ingredient. What is it?
The One Ingredient Chef.
I'll have to put that in the description box too. I'm going to put, like, all these cool things we've talked about, I'm going to make sure to link this for all of you watching later on so that you know what we're talking about. And Tanisha, are you on MyFitnessPal too?
Yes.
All right, I'll put, I am too, so I'll put all of our handles down there in the description box as well.
Yeah, I definitely want to follow you guys on MyFitnessPal because I think it'll help kind of boost my accountability to remember to use it.
Yeah, definitely, because I do not have many active friends on there. Like, I have several friends that I follow, but they're not active. So it's like, if you don't have someone to keep up with, then you're not even going to open it.
Exactly. And I haven't, that's why when she said MyFitnessPal, I kind of, because once I get active on it, I stay active on it and I do really well, but then I just stop and don't realize why I stopped until somebody brings it up or I get a notification that somebody's following me on it or something. I'm like, oh yeah. And then I'll start the next day or that day, and so maybe this will motivate everybody.
Yeah, definitely. I think so because, I really like the it's kind of competitive because it makes you compete with yourself. Like, it tells you how many days in a row you've tracked, and that in itself was really good for me because I think the highest I got was like 45 days, and I was like, I'm gonna make it to 50. I'm going to make it to 60, and like I kept giving myself new goals, but I don't remember what it was, but I just didn't track one day, and then it's so easy to not track the day after and the day after. So this will be good motivation for all of us, I think. And I hope that people watching, will come find us and say hi and tell us where they found us and everything.
For sure. And also, I will say that they have a PDF cookbook that has like a meal plan and stuff like that in it, and that's really good too.
On
It's like
MyFitnessPal?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It's really good. I haven't like actually used it yet, but I've gone through and looked at all the recipes and the guide and everything that they have, and I totally want to do it. They have like some really good, clean, whole foods. So
well, that's
yeah.
awesome.
I think that's a good goal for all of us to, I don't know, I'm just going to kind of throw it out there until, I mean, it's the holidays, but maybe it'll help us if we all try to track on MyFitnessPal to the next time we have a hangout.
Yeah, that's a very good
Maybe
goal.
on the next hangout, maybe we can talk about apps or something.
Yeah, favorite app.
Maybe because I have a lot of apps that I use, or not a lot, but there's a few apps that I use on my iPad to work out with that are free and they're just awesome. And I thought maybe we can share that on our next visit.
Yeah, definitely. I will make note of that for sure. That's a great idea. Because I've always had Android, but then recently, probably in the last 2 months, I got an iPhone, and so
Hmm.
I'm still like on the Android mindset, but they're so completely different, like as far as the apps that are available. So
Hmm.
that'd be really helpful to me too. So that's a great suggestion.
I totally think that people's preference for like Android versus iPhone is totally like a left brain, right brain thing, like whichever one is dominant for you is the one that kind of clicks the best. I guess some people are like, oh, well, no, the Android is better. And some people are like, no, well, I think it's just personal preference and like
Yeah, it's just all it is.
what clicks in
Exactly.
your brain. Like I had a Droid for like 2 years because Verizon makes you wait 2 years now to upgrade your phone, and I also had an iPod Touch, and I could never get the hang of using the Droid. I was just like, I give up. I'm just going to use my iPod Touch connected to Wi-Fi, and then I'll use my phone to make phone calls. And I'd carry both of them all the time. It was annoying.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we've got a plan. We did talk about a lot of stuff tonight, so I hope that all of you watching, I'm so glad that you stuck it out with us and that you were here, and I hope you took something away from it. Let me just pop back over real quick and make sure we don't have any new questions. So we've got the New Year coming up. We've got Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever holidays you have that you celebrate in your family. We've got all, so be mindful of what it is that your goal is and make sure that you don't go off track. And us YouTubers, we're going to be here on MyFitnessPal. We're going to start tracking again. So if you guys want to follow us, I will put down below what our names are. And be sure to tune in next month with us while we talk about our favorite apps that we use to help us on our journeys. So if there is nothing else that you girls have to say, I'm going to go ahead and take us off the air.
Yeah,
Have anything else, ladies?
I'm just
Nope.
checking the hashtags and the comments really quick because I don't want to miss anyone like we did last time.
Yeah, that was awful. I don't know what the whole lag time was, but we
It
had
was
a,
like as soon as we clicked off, there were all these comments.
yeah.
They weren't there while we were on.
So if you guys are watching and we did not address something that you said or a comment, it's not because we didn't want to, we just didn't see it. So sometimes once we go off air, all of a sudden it refreshes and we see it. So if that is the case, you guys, do not worry. We will address it in the next video like we did with Charlotte's question. So with that being said, thank you so much to everybody for joining. Again, we are the YouTubers. I am Jenny, and we have Ashlee and Tanisha, and I will have all of our channels and where you can find us all over the internet down below in the description box. And thank you for watching. We will see you guys next month. Bye, guys.